All right, so let's get started. So first things first, let's create a section. We're gonna call it FAQ. So to do that, if you remember our previous tutorials, we can do it two ways if we wanted to. So the first way is to decide in which template we want to display this section. So I can come to template here. I can choose to display this FAQ in index.json, which is our home page, and I can add it in this fashion. So anyway, even though I don't do it here directly, when I'm gonna pull the code, it's going to appear here like automatically. The best way, or the second way to do it, again, anyway, is gonna always appearing here. It must be appearing here anyway. Okay, just know that you have a possibility to come to edit the section directly using the JSON format. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm gonna go to sections directory, and I'm gonna create a file. I'm gonna call it faq.liquid. And remember, sections are composed with three categories. So the first one is going to be HTML and liquid markup. The second one is going to be your assets. The third one is going to be your schema. And the schema is what's gonna help us to create section input, to store data, and to add this data in our HTML so that it looks like dynamic. Okay, so let's create our markup HTML first. So I'm gonna create a section. So I'm gonna add a div here. So I'm doing everything the same time with you. So inside this div, I'm gonna add a comment here, an HTML comment, and I'm gonna say this is going to be title and description. I'm gonna copy and paste this comment again, and here I'm gonna call it questions and responses. Okay, so the first div I'm gonna create here. So this div going to hold the title. Let's give it some h3, and I'm gonna give it just a random title for now. Let's call it heading title, and we're gonna have some description here. Let's say I don't know if I have access to this lorem. I don't, but let me go back to my browser quickly, and I'm going to copy just some lorem ipsum like this, and go back to my VS Code and paste it inside our p tag here and save it. And then what we're going to do, I'm gonna create now on the questions and response comments just below, I'm gonna create a div container that's going to hold all of the questions and answer. And here, you know what, let me add here container. And let me add another comment here. They're gonna say questions response card. Okay, so that it makes you more to have like more understanding. So inside here, I'm gonna add a div, and this div is going to hold questions and answer. So first, I'm gonna create another. Okay, my apologies for that. I'm gonna create a div, and this is going to be for the question, and let me just duplicate it, and this is going to be for the answer. Okay, so I can add some comment here for you so that you don't get lost. So we're gonna have questions here, and just below we're going to have responses, or just response, because it's going to be just one question like this. Okay, so inside this div we're going to have let's say some h4, and here is going to be our question. So let's say our question, and just below the h4 I'm gonna add a span, and this span going to hold our icon. And in the response I'm gonna create a p tag. Let me go back to my browser again and open this lorem ipsum Chrome extension, and let's add this one as our response. Then I'm gonna save it. So when you pay attention, you can see that I just made one question and response card. So normally what you're gonna do, you're gonna go and duplicate this. But before, let's go back to our code editor to see if this is already appearing. So if I go back and I reload the page here, we're going to have no section added here at all. Okay, it's because we need to add a schema, and we need to add also a preset so that we are able to add this section inside our theme editor. Now let's go back to VS Code. So let's create a schema. So we're going to have the first attribute is going to be name. So let's give it a name. I'm going to call it FAQ. Let's give it a class FAQ. For now, I'm going to skip this settings attribute here, and I'm going to add the preset attribute because this is what we need so far at this moment. Without it, we can't add a section. So let's give it a name. I will give it the same name like we gave on top. So FAQ. And we can add this attribute of settings, which it is an object inside the preset. So let's leave it empty for now and let's save it. Let's go back to our browser and inside our theme editor here. So let's refresh. And if you come add section here and you look for FAQ, it's already here. So when I click, now we are able to add the FAQ right here. And this is our HTML so far. We have the heading title, we have the description, we have our question, and we have some lorem ipsum as an answer. Okay, so what I'm gonna do so that we have a clean view of what we're doing, I will hide the hero, I will hide the new cards we were working on, I'm gonna hide the feature collection. So we just have our header and our footer, and then we have our section right here. I will press save. I will go back to VS Code. I will go to layout, theme.liquid, and just remove this H1 we have here. I forgot to remove it, and press enter. Okay, so we are now clean to go. There you go. And yeah, so now let's first of all start by designing our HTML layout.